What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into a special Cruise Film Reviews edition of the Country Roads Webcast. Got another one here with the Virginia Tech game. The Mountaineers win this one 33-10, maintain the Black Diamond Trophy, and will hold on to it for quite some time. Great rivalry victory, especially when you do it on the road. In prime time, Thursday night atmosphere, West Virginia kind of redeems their spell in that aspect as the first time on Thursday night. Lost to the rival in Pitt. This time they get the win against Virginia Tech. But before we get into this edition of the Cruise Film Reviews, just want to remind you guys, give us that thumbs up, hit that like button. That'll help this video's performance and help future videos' performances on the channel as well. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Helps us, helps you, helps get more of this Mountaineer football content out to Mountaineer Nation. And as always, a link to the merch store in the video description down below. Get you anything with the Country Roads Webcast logo on it there, as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads Webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. That being said, let's get into this edition of Cruise Film Reviews for the Virginia Tech game. Okay, so this is where I like to start because this is on the drive where West Virginia started at their own 2-yard line. And this play is very similar to a play that happened against Pitt. As we see here, rough snap, JT Daniels recovers, scrambles, finds Bryce Ford Wheaton for a first down. Against Pitt, did the same thing. And that just stands out to me as something about JT Daniels is you can always have confidence that no matter what happens, he's going to be calm and he's going to get it done. You know, you don't have to worry with him back there, I feel like. Here's a play I wanted to feature on that same drive where West Virginia started their own 2-yard line, because I talked about West Virginia having success with the inside zone, but they need to develop some other things. We saw outside zone in the game, but we also saw this. Check this out. They get the look that they're running like the split zone that they've had success with, the inside zone, tight end coming. But instead, they fake the handoff on like an inside zone, and it's a pitch play. I know this play particularly is not too successful. Tony Mathis gets the edge, gets 2 or 3 yards. But I do like the fact that, they're recognizing, hey, we've put this inside zone on tape. We're really good at it. We need to have some variations of it, some different things we can do with it. Accompany that with the fact that it looks like they're really getting better at the outside zone. We saw in this game against Virginia Tech, which I'll show more of later. But I really like the design of that play. Let's run it back one more time and let's check it out. What you're going to see is Doug Nestor here at right guard. 72 is going to come towards the screen to get the backside. Zach Frazier and James Committer holding down the middle. Palende, Reese Smith, and Prather trying to get blocks on the outside. But Hubbard tries to get up to the second level, but Palende misses his block. His man gets outside of him. He should have got outside and tried to force that guy inside to open up the lane for Mathis outside. Instead, his man comes through, forces Tony Mathis outside a little bit more than they liked. But I do like the variation on the inside zone and the inside zone split West Virginia's been very successful on so far this season. All right, so I wanted to show Virginia Tech's first touchdown here, but I want to show it from the replay angle rather than the live angle so we could see the corner here. You see McCormick, he stops there like he thinks Smith is going to sit down and lets him get over the top. And I just don't understand why he did that, because, your main job in this situation is, play it top down, don't let him get behind you. And even if you do think he's going to sit right there, if you remain backpedaling, keeping an eye on the receiver, not letting him get behind you, and he sits right there, then you got a chance to drive on it, break it up or, make a play on him, one or the other. But instead kind of stops and sat right there. And I even noticed that live and wondered, why did he stop and sit right there? But he did. Smith gets behind him and scores Virginia Tech's only touchdown of the game. And I think that's one of the reasons McCormick was kind of sat for a little bit after this. We saw more spells for the rest of this half. McCormick came back in the second half, did a much better job when he was in the second half, but spells got in there as well. And I think we'll see more spells going forward, whether that means he's going to get some of McCormick's playing time or some of Ajayi's, I don't know, but I think definitely you got to play spells more after his performance in this one, and more on that here in a bit. Okay, so here we're going to see C.J. Donaldson in the backfield on first down for the Mountaineers. And I wanted to show this play because, as I mentioned, West Virginia had a lot of success this season with this look running the inside split zone where 87 Mike O'Laughlin would come across and Donaldson would come on the split zone. But instead on this, you'll see Doug Nestor pulls and O'Laughlin comes across like he would have on that split zone. But instead, it's a counter play for West Virginia going back to that short side of the field there, and it works out great. Nestor pulling and O'Laughlin leading. Huge hole for Donaldson. Let me run it back here just to show you guys that hole. All right, so here we go. Watch, O'Loughlin's going to come across, Nestor come across, James Committer on the pin down, and White Milam as well. Look at that hole right there. I mean, if that guy doesn't make the tackle, a shoestring tackle, that's probably a touchdown for C.J. Donaldson. I mean, huge lanes the offensive line was opening in this game, and that's just one I wanted to show, a variation on the inside zone split we've been having success with an awesome run on a counter play with a huge hole. Great job by the offensive line. All right, so here we'll have a nice little two-play sequence here with a 3rd down and 1 stop, and then a 4th down and 1 stop for the Mountaineers. Watch Lee Koba here. Reads it, lays the wood to Keyshawn King, meets him in the hole. That's a play where a lot of times you'll see the halfback drive, get that yard. Lee Koba stands him up, forces him back, no gain. Mountaineers force 4th and 1. Also, great job by the D-line there to do their job and let Lee Koba come free. There you see Lee Koba circled there on the broadcast. Jordan Jefferson with great penetration that forced Keyshawn King to bounce right there to that left and into that hole where Lee Koba was waiting. Jordan Jefferson, so underrated what he's been doing for the Mountaineers this season. All right, so following the 3rd down stop for the Mountaineers, Virginia Tech deciding to go for it on 4th and 1. Up 7-3 in the game at this point, just off a Mountaineer turnover, the fumble by Tony Mathis. And this is one of the biggest plays of the game to me. And you're going to see Jordan Jefferson make a big difference on it. You get the 2 big guys in the middle there for the Mountaineers, Jordan Jefferson and Mike Lockhart on the field together. Great penetration. There's nowhere for Grant Wells to go. Not a great play call for Virginia Tech either. A little quarterback run game, basically a quarterback sneak essentially, quarterback power out of the shotgun, gets nothing. Jordan Jefferson forces the defender back yet again. Amazing job by Jordan Jefferson, like I said, this season. Probably the most unheralded, underrated player on the defense that's really done a great job. And it's the reason why the Mountaineers' run defense has been so stout. Despite, a suspect secondary, the run defense has been great. There you see right there Jordan Jefferson pushing his man back into the thing. Mike Lockhart doing the same. And the play's wrecked. The defense celebrates a 4th down stop that really changed the momentum of the game pretty much for the rest of the game. All right, while we're talking Jordan Jefferson, might as well show a play that really encapsulates his dominance in the run game this season that I've been talking about and why I say dominance. Watch this 1st down play for the Hokies. Look at Jordan Jefferson. Just man on man, sheds his blocker, just throws him down and makes a tackle for loss. And that's why they've been calling him a tackle for loss machine. That's why West Virginia's run defense looks completely different this year. I'm not trying to say Akeem Mestor leaving was a good thing. I think he still presented you with some really good things. He's a good player, but Jordan Jefferson's transformed the defense a little bit because you've gotten a lot bigger down there with him and Mike Lockhart and a lot stronger in the run game. And as you can see there, Jordan Jefferson just shedding the blocker and stuffing the run. That's really his season in a nutshell so far. Right here, you're going to see Anthony El Negro get through, a guy that you guys have known about. He's been following the channel throughout the offseason. We said he could be a secret weapon for West Virginia, and that's the 2nd time we've seen him make something happen on a punt for the Mountaineers. He blew up the wedge against Pitt that allowed C.J. Donaldson to get the block, and then Del Negro comes in right there and gets the tip on the punt from Virginia Tech to set the Mountaineers up with great field position late in the 2nd quarter. So he's a guy that's going to continue to make plays on special teams. Look out for him on the punt block team and maybe on field goals too. Anthony Del Negro, great job. Special teams dynamo for the Mountaineers so far this season, as expected. Okay, so I really just wanted to start right here and let this whole drive ride through for the Mountaineers. You see they get the ball back, trailing by 1. A minute and 1 second, starting on their own 30 to go 70 yards. And to me, I wanted to show this because this really just shows JT Daniels and why he's such a great quarterback, why WVU fans love him so much already. And he may not be popping out on the stat sheet, because the Mountaineers have been so balanced and really ran the ball so well as well. But it's his intangibles, his leadership, his ability to check into the right play, his game management skills, his time management skills. And you can see all that in effect on this drive as you see the Mountaineers take it here on their 2nd down and 3 after a 7-yard completion to O'Laughlin. Hits another perfectly placed out ball to Mike O'Laughlin again. Gets out of bounds on both plays. So, only used up, about 10, 11 seconds of the clock already, and, already near midfield. Just great decision making by JT Daniels. I thought the play column was good as well. But all around, just the Mountaineers right here on this drive executed perfectly. Not even a 2-minute, drill, but a 1-minute drill, if you will. And loved what you see from JT Daniels from, let's see here on the play. Bryce Ford Wheaton drawing a lot of attention, right? So that leaves Mike O'Laughlin open on the back. And I thought that was something they did great. I'm sure that's something they drew up this week and have drawn up, for the future moving forward. Not only did they, get the ball to pray through more on the other side because they knew Ford Wheaton was going to get some attention, but they designed some plays where they line, Mike O'Laughlin up on the same side, outside with Bryce Ford Wheaton. And like I said, just like you've seen right there, Bryce Ford Wheaton draws a lot of attention, and Mike O'Laughlin was open on a lot of plays, and that's how he had, the receptions that he had, including a touchdown that he should have had that he unfortunately dropped. But he still played one of the better games of his career receiving wise for Mike O'Laughlin, who always does such a great job, in the run blocking aspect of the game. Mountaineers now up on their own 49 seconds to go. Still have those 2 timeouts. JT Daniels, plenty of time. Hits Caden Prather, who also had a great game. I think he led the Mountaineers in receiving. About a 13-yard pickup there. But the thing that stuck out to me on that play is the pass protection from the Mountaineers. We've seen the Mountaineers run blocking be good all season, but their pass protection in this game I thought was really stellar. JT Daniels, as you can see here, late second quarter, his jersey still clean. I don't think he got sacked till later in the game, and I think he was only sacked once, if I'm not mistaken. Taking a shot here, and this is where Bryce Ford Wheaton makes a great play, because that corner was step for step and went up with him and nearly had the interception, and Bryce Ford Wheaton kind of becomes a defensive back, and that's where being a veteran comes in handy as he strips the ball away. But that was, a 50-50 ball, and JT Daniels, I think if he's got Bryce Ford one-on-one in a 50-50 situation, he's going to take his chances. As you see there, Bryce Ford Wheaton almost took that ball away and ended up with a reception, and you're always going to take that chance, I think, one-on-one if you're JT Daniels with no safety help with BFW or maybe even Prather on the other side at times. But here you go, 24 seconds, Mountaineers on the 37-yard line. JT Daniels over the middle to Prather again, and it's another first down. And that's the good thing about college is, if you run these routes behind the stick, if you're running a 1-minute drill, 2-minute drill, run your routes beyond the markers, the clock stops on first down until they can reset the change. So you get a second to get reset, and West Virginia didn't have to use any of their timeouts until right now. Had 2 timeouts in the back pocket. Used their first one with 17 seconds left, and by that time they're already, almost in the red zone here on what are they, the 23-yard line, I believe, 24-yard line. And so the Mountaineers take a timeout and set something up, and ends up working out pretty good for them here. All right, so here we go. The Mountaineers out of the timeout draw up a good one, and an awesome throw from JT Daniels here. You see Sam James coming down the slot, got a linebacker on him. Beautiful throw, touchdown, Mountaineers. Perfectly executed 1-minute drill, culminating in a 24-yard touchdown pass to Sam James there, right down the seam. Beautiful ball from JT Daniels. And as I said, you kind of see all of JT Daniels on that drive and what he can do. Leads the Mountaineers with 1 minute, with a timeout to spare, and he was 5 of 6 for 70 yards and a touchdown on the drive. Can't do it any better than that. You see Sam James circled there, and he's just going to use his speed to get open over the middle. The Mountaineers used a lot of outside routes and then had the middle wide open with the safety split and a perfectly thrown ball from JT Daniels to give the Mountaineers the lead right before half, and they would never relinquish it again. All right, so we're going to take a look at this play here, because this is a play, if you've been following the CRW podcast throughout the season, I've wanted to see the Mountaineers get better at and execute, and that's the outside zone. They've had great success with the inside zone, and here we're going to see it with 12 personnel, both tight ends down here on the side, Palende and O'Laughlin. Outside zone to the short side. C.J. Johnson makes a great cut and cuts back and breaks a few tackles and makes a play. But this is just a play I want the Mountaineers to continue to run, and we'll see here. I'll show a play later on where they had even better success with it with Justin Johnson in the game, I believe. But you see outside zone there, and the back just kind of has to read it, and he makes a great read on a cutback. But it's a play I wanted the Mountaineers to get better at. We've seen Baylor last season have really great success with it, using it as kind of their base play. How West Virginia's used inside zone. They use that outside zone or stretch play, some call it, and the back kind of reads it and finds the green grass and gets vertical with it. And the Mountaineers had really good success with it against Virginia Tech, so hopefully it's something they continue to be able to execute. And they received C.J. Donaldson with a great cutback on that play. All right, so here we go. The Mountaineers with what ended up being a critical 4th down conversion here, but I wanted to show this play because not only for it being critical for that reason, but watch Caden Prather on the top of the screen. Watch the route he runs to help the Mountaineers get this 4th down conversion. He had a great game, and this is really impressive. Check this out. Just fakes the out route and comes in. Easy throw for JT Daniels, easy conversion because it's such a beautiful route by Caden Prather. All right, we talked about the Mountaineers having some variations of that inside split zone. Check this out for a variation of the inside split zone. O'Laughlin in motion, fake the zone split. O'Laughlin sneaks out, got the receivers blocking for him. Excellent play design for Mike O for a big gain, about 15 or so there. And one of the more impressive plays I've seen from the Mountaineers, and I've been really impressed with how they've done that. Everyone's noticed they've been good at inside zone, and I've been personally talking on the podcast how I wanted to see them have some different things off that. We saw them faking inside zone, have an outside pitch. We've seen counter run plays in this game, power run plays in this game, and then even the outside zone, we'll touch more on that briefly. But that right there, faking the inside zone split and tossing it out to Mike O'Laughlin was great, I thought. All right, so here comes that outside zone I've been talking about, and this is how it's supposed to look. Check this out from Justin Johnson. Sees the green, cuts upfield. Biggest run play of the night for the Mountaineers on the outside zone, and that's exactly how it's supposed to look. The outside zone stretch play, whatever you want to call it. You stretch it out to, the offensive line kinds of holds, and you see which gap, and you cut upfield. Baylor really had amazing success with it last year. That's what they had all that success with Abram Smith with on that offense, and then you see the Mountaineers go right back to it again, second consecutive play, and Justin Johnson gets 5 more yards on it. So it was great to see the Mountaineers have success on it, and here you go. Great. Look at that lane. I mean, the offensive line's run blocking in this game, and, thus far through this season really shouldn't be can't go without mentioning that enough, and how appreciative of it is to see holes like that. Haven't seen holes like that in a long time, but hopefully the Mountaineers can continue to have success on that outside zone throughout the season against, the teams in the Big 12 that are strong on the defensive line. We'll see, because if they can do inside zone and outside zone, they're cooking with gas. All right, so here we are. Couldn't be a more fitting play to end our Cruise Film Reviews Virginia Tech edition on, and couldn't be a more fitting play for the Mountaineers, as it's really poetic justice for the Mountaineers on this one, I think. Each of their first 2 losses were ultimately decided by pick 6 from the other team. And for this one, the Mountaineers, the knockout punch in their final score of this game was a pick 6 of their own. Let's take a look here. 1st and 20 for Virginia Tech. 4th quarter, already down 16, under 10 minutes to go. Graham Wells drops back. Jacoby Spells reads it perfectly, catches the ball in stride, and then look at the speed he shows and goes to the end zone. Shows why he was the highest ranked recruit for the Mountaineers in this year's recruiting class. We've been wanting to see the true freshman get onto the field with how the Mountaineers secondary struggled. We finally got to see it extensively in this game against Virginia Tech, and we see him learn throughout the game and then adapt and there perfectly read the route combination that Virginia Tech was trying to run, come off, make an aggressive play, jump in front of the pass, secure the interception in stride, and go make a play, hit the end zone for the first interception of the season for the Mountaineers, and it's a pick 6, and as I said, very fitting that is the knockout punch, and that would be the final score there at 33-10, following the Jacoby Spells pick 6, as you see him put on the minor turnover helmet, and well-deserved for the true freshman, and hopefully this means we will see more of him as the season moves forward, as I think he is going to be the starting cornerback of the future for the Mountaineers. Highly ranked recruit they got out of Miami. Watch him here on this play. Circled here, checking out the replay from the broadcast. The knockout punch from the Mountaineers. Watch Spells. Reads it, jumps right in front. Just perfectly broken on that slant. And, we've seen Mountaineers get hurt over the middle of this season, so it's good to see someone pick up on what Virginia Tech was doing and read it and jump on it. And he's shown that ability already as a freshman in his first game where he's really played a lot. So excited to see the future with him, and hopefully the future of the Mountaineers secondary. Hopefully it continues to improve with young players like him stepping up, and we'll see if others can do the same and how much more of him we can see going forward. But all in all, pretty strong performance from the Mountaineer defense in this one, especially run defense-wise, and they're going to have a strong test in both run and pass defense this Saturday against Texas. But that'll wrap up Cruise Film Reviews Virginia Tech edition here with the Jacoby Spells pick 6 for the 33-10 West Virginia victory over the Hokies to hold on to the Black Diamond Trophy for the foreseeable future. All right, so there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. Cruise Film Reviews Virginia Tech edition. Really hope you guys enjoyed that. And on your way out, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, give us that like. That'll really help this video's performance and help future videos' performances here on the channel. If you haven't already and you're a Mountaineer football fan, definitely hit that subscribe button. Got a lot of Mountaineer football content, and hitting that subscribe button will help us and it will help you because it gets more of this Mountaineer football content out to Mountaineer Nation. That being said, we will have more of that content coming in the near future, and hopefully have more of these Cruise Film Reviews coming down the line as the season progresses. We'll see what we can do. That being said, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.
If you really want to know, then come on, let's go. Take a stroll down those